Welcome, dear listener. Tonight, we drift quietly into the fog-veiled streets of Victorian England, a world of horse-drawn carriages, ticking clocks, and the soft hum of gas lamps flickering in the dusk. Imagine the first light of morning trying gently to pierce through a thick London fog. The city lies wrapped in a blanket of gray, the chimneys exhaling slow curls of smoke into the cold, damp air. Rain clings to cobblestones, and the steady clip-clop of hooves begins to echo through the narrow alleys. In a modest townhouse in the heart of the city, a servant gently opens the heavy velvet curtains. Light filters in dim and pale. The lady of the house, dressed in a lace-trimmed nightgown, sips quietly from a cup of steaming black tea. Its warmth is a small comfort in the chill of the drawing room. The day begins not with a rush, but a slow unfolding. In homes across the country, fireplaces are stoked, coal is shoveled, and kettles whistle their morning song. Children ready for school, boys in stiff jackets, and girls in pinafores and boots, each clutching a leather satchel of books and slates. In rural villages, farmers lead horses to pasture, while housewives sweep hearths and boil porridge over iron stoves. The fog gives everything a dreamlike feel. Lamps glow like halos. Sounds are softened. Time slows. The great cities are just waking, but the rhythm of the day, like the slow ticking of a grandfather clock, is gentle, precise, and full of hidden charm. Let us follow this rhythm deeper now into the life behind the lace curtains. As the fog lifts slightly by midday, Victorian England takes on a richer hue. In grand houses and modest homes alike, the ritual of afternoon tea begins to unfold, a sacred pause in the day's labors. In a drawing room adorned with floral wallpaper and porcelain vases, the table is set. Fine china cups, sugar cubes in a silver bowl, thin slices of cucumber sandwiches, and scones with thick clotted cream. A maid pours the tea slowly, carefully, so the porcelain doesn't clink too loud. This is not merely a meal, it's a moment. A social theater of smiles, posture, and subtle conversation. Ladies in silk dresses speak softly about the latest novel by Charles Dickens or the fashion notes from Paris. They sit near the window, watching carriages pass on the quiet street below, where gentlemen tip their hats and young women walk arm in arm under parasols. In smaller homes, tea might be simpler, served from a dented kettle, with bread and jam, but still it is a pause. A comfort. A connection to tradition. Children gather for nursery tea. Crumbs scatter across gingham tablecloths as little hands reach for biscuits. A governess tells gentle stories while wiping smudges from faces and redirecting spills with patient grace. It is a world where order and ritual are prized. Time is measured not just in minutes, but in manners. And beneath every polite nod and whispered word lies a secret longing for something more. Now the sun dips lower in the sky, casting amber hues across brickwork and slate rooftops. The lamps are lit once again, glowing faintly behind lace curtains. But behind those curtains, dear listener, is where the real Victorian life unfolds. Beneath the appearances of primness and propriety were stories left unspoken. In the parlors of the wealthy, love letters were tucked into books. A glance across a dinner table could mean more than an entire conversation. Wives managed the house, while their husbands vanished for hours into clubs and business matters. There were secret illnesses, unspoken grief, hidden passions. A daughter who longed to paint, but instead was trained to pour tea just right. A governess in love with the eldest son of the house. A widow who kept her husband's hat in the closet untouched for 10 years. Even the furniture whispered stories. The hidden drawers in writing desks. The scent of lavender in a wardrobe. The diary locked beneath a floorboard. And in the narrow alleys and tenements of London's East End, life was harsher, but secrets lived there too. Neighbors who shared food in silence. Children with old eyes who had seen too much. Women who cleaned houses by day and cried by candlelight at night. In this world, what was seen mattered less than what was hidden. The Victorian home was more than its china and curtains. It was a quiet stage for stories too delicate to tell aloud. Gas lamp, as night falls, let us step quietly outside. The fog returns, wrapping the city in a hush. Gas lamps glow along the streets. Their soft golden light flickers on wet cobblestones. The sound of boots echoes in the distance. Somewhere, a distant church bell chimes 10 times. It is in this hour that the city whispers. A policeman in a tall hat walks his beat with a lantern, his silhouette passing storefronts that are now dark and still. A newspaper boy folds up his last edition and tucks it beneath his arm. A carriage passes, wheels sloshing through puddles, the driver's breath visible in the cold air. Above, in the glow of upper windows, families read aloud by candlelight. A mother tucks in her children with lullabies and prayers. The grandfather clock in the hallway ticks with a steady, soothing rhythm. In Soho, artists still paint by lamplight. In Chelsea, poets whisper lines to themselves, watching ink pool slowly on the page. And in the countryside, stars shimmer quietly over fields as sheep huddle for warmth and a single lantern flickers in the window of a stone cottage. It is a night of slow breaths, hidden sighs, and quiet reflection. The world may have seemed prim and perfect in the daylight, but by night, it is soft, vulnerable, and full of dreams. Now, as the hour grows late, we enter the final chapter of our journey. We lie still beneath heavy quilts in a tall Victorian bed, the scent of old books and beeswax lingering in the room. The wind brushes against the window. A branch taps softly like a lullaby. In this stillness, we remember what truly defined Victorian life, not just the empire, inventions, or etiquette, but the inner life, the dreams, the hopes, the quiet endurance. Victorian people lived between candlelight and coal dust. They read novels aloud by firelight. They feared change, yet built trains to chase it. They held on to mourning, yet sang lullabies. They were caught between tradition and revolution, comfort and curiosity. And so are we. As you rest now, think not of timelines or battles, but of the sound of a tea kettle whistling, the feel of wool stockings, the hush of a foggy street. You're safe now, wrapped in a blanket of time, drifting through a world of lace and lamplight. Good night, dear listener. May your dreams be full of fog, tea, and gentle secrets.